Hey, hey, I will try that again. What's up, everyone? I'm a little calmer than I was earlier, but I also wanted to give you guys something to look at because I don't know, Granny's cat yesterday kept like, uh, like drawing me in. So I was like, you know what? I need something interactive. So I found this. I thought it was very pretty. So I made this easy and went ahead and recorded everything. By the time I was ready to go live, it looks like she's not live anymore. But mods, I also want to let you know, I had to unblock everybody yesterday to see Indy, which I still can't see. So you might get some trolls in. I'll be watching chat too in order to block. So you guys, I'll make your job easier. But yeah, so I apologize that we're probably going to get an influx of trolls, but I'm pretty good at catching them, so I'll catch them really quick. So if you guys missed, I'll get right into it. I know I don't want to spend all day on here. And I think it's funny though, the one day I decide to go live during the day, like everyone and their mother is live. I'm like, damn, I can't catch a break. If I go live at night, even fucking Robbie's live. I'm like, shit. So first, I want to thank Good Vibes for the 10 memberships. Some of them I wish I could cancel, but I can't. Honey Boo Boo, I didn't even know your ass was still around. Be Real, yay. Kate, Little Big Voices, Little Minx. Sweet Crazy, you'll be blocked within a minute. Patty, not sure which Patty that is. Missy 007. Kimberly, I had no idea your ass was still around. All right. Hey, Marie. Marie, if you watch part 1, you'll understand. Thank you, sweet misery. By the way, candle orders all went out. Anyone that had a candle order in, it's out. So I went out this morning. Okay, Joanna, she'll be blocked. Can I block a membership instantly? I don't know if I can do that. Hang on. I can. Sweet. All right, let me go here and get this one. Blocked. All right. Who else got memberships? I see Holly, Linda, Small Wildflower, the one I just blocked, and I can't see who else. There's one more that I don't see. So, all right. Yeah, we need at least 100 thumb ups. Oh, JP got one? Welcome, JP. I can't see JP. That's why I didn't see it. So, all right. If you missed part 1, hey, Cindy. Cindy, I was just thinking about you yesterday. I was like, you know what? I have not seen Cindy in forever. And the reason I even thought of it was because somebody in QUEENBEE's chat was named Cindy. And I'm like, please tell me Cindy didn't fucking go to the dark side. I was like, I will be really upset. I haven't seen her in a while. I don't know where she is. And then boom, there you are. That's pretty funny. I think I willed you in here, Cindy. I wished you in here. Positive thinking. So if you missed part 1, you're going to hear it in a couple of minutes of why I was so fucking livid this morning. But first, actually, you know what? Let me do it this way. So you guys are going to see a 1-minute video that I made about a month ago. And it was right after I redesigned my candle studio. And I don't know why I never put it up before. I think as it was over a minute. So I sliced it a little this morning, made a short with music that you can catch on my video. But I'm going to show you the full 1.5 minute version without music when it gets to that part. But I want you guys to hear first what Queen Bee said. Hey, Allie, there could have been more to it. I'm not sure if there was more to it or not because I stopped recording it. But this will give you guys an idea of why I was so livid this morning and why I was so livid. And then we're going to backtrack to other stuff with this fucking heifer. But first, hold on. All right, since I have her live up, I'm just going to play it instead of my recording, but let me get to the spot that I need. Hold on.
Is on my mind. Was drunk than a bitch.
Oh. Listen.
I don't think anybody bad for you and you can play victim. That's exactly what it is. They were not in the injunction ready, and when the
go into that, but I think that up here, I was like, you're 15 years old. Like, what kind
who the fuck it is doesn't matter what it's for. But I understand you girls are from TikTok, so it's a little different over there. I understand that it's a little bit different.
Here's what I don't understand. Why is everybody freaking out about TikTok or YouTube? It's all social media. It doesn't fucking matter what platform it is. The rules don't change. People don't change. It's the same thing. I don't know why everyone's like, oh my God, well, they're from TikTok. Who gives a fuck? A lot of people, I mean, if you're a good creator, you're on multiple platforms. And nothing, you're not going to change because of your platform.
Over there, I get it. Over here, we have. I've always kept an open chat and open panel, but then when you guys all split up and became not business, because PJ's allowed to be here, she's being respectful. She's fine. I don't care if people from Brittany's chat come over here, as long as they're respectful, they can be here. I've always kept an open chat and open panel. Anyways, though, back to this. I do think it's fucked up that. That people felt like their addresses were in jeopardy, of being given out. I don't think Barbecue would do that. I honestly don't, because she runs a legit business, and you know what I'm saying? And that's on her TikTok. So I really don't think that, you know what I'm saying, she would, put anybody's stuff out there. I think her feelings were upset. She was hurt, as anybody would be that worked on a cookbook. When you guys were all friends, you guys ordered the cookbook and everything was fine. Everybody wanted one then. But then when you guys all split up and became not friends, then it was like, okay, let's fuck with her and let's burn this cookbook and be hateful and shitty.
Okay, now I'm going to stop it right there. And I'm going to show you guys a legit business. Thank you, Allie. Has nothing to do.
Don't hit subscribe. I always try to tell them, but they do it every time. I tell them it's a problem, but they acting like it's fine. I'm begging them to stop, but they leave me with a like.
Now, Queen Bee, you want to see a legit business? I'm going to show you a legit business. Sorry, there's no music. This is my candle studio. This started out as a tiny little space with like a desk. Those are all my cents. You guys think I'm joking when I tell you I have like 200 cents. That's my desk. A little messy. Those are all my molds. Tons. Now tell me, do you think I'm going to piss that all away for a bunch of fucking YouTube drama? I mean, seriously. I have taken over my entire living room, my dining room. Like, that's what you walk into. Yeah, there's a couch and a TV, but my entire living room and dining room, which is like my whole house is 1,700 square feet. And it does. And a lot of it is my dining room, my living room. That's like a biggest area. And I just can't believe what I heard next. I know, right, Yarn? That's what I'm saying. I have come a long fucking way. Like, a long way. I started out just in the dining room with like this little tiny room and grew into this. And I am extremely proud of it. Like, I really, truly am. Hold on, let me shut my door. Well, shutting my door is not going to help because they're in my bathroom. So, for anyone to, I mean, you compare this to a fucking cookbook? Like, literally, this is what you're going to compare to a fucking cookbook? Wow. Just wow. So, and again, I'm extremely proud of how far I've come and how hard I've worked. And how much I've built from scratch. Literally from scratch. So, now let's hear what this fucking lying ass heifer said. Hold on. First, let me get the damn dogs out. Hold on. Out. Let's go. Come on. Puka. You're out. All right. Yeah, a cookbook that's like a spiral notebook. So let's continue.
Which it was hateful. It was shitty. But I mean, it was also shitty to, say that it was a hate crime. It was also really shitty to say that, you were going to find their addresses or whatever, because we've jumped all in Laura's shit about doing that with her candle business, because people do, they get mad and they dox out. Not that I think you.
All right. This is where I keep getting fucking mad. Queen Bee, please tell me when you jumped all over my shit for something that never fucking happened. And please fucking tell me who I've ever doxed out. That you got all over my shit, you fucking lying ass heifer. You never got all over my shit because it never fucking happened. And I've never doxed anyone out for my candle business, ever. Like, ever. And I cannot even fucking believe that you threw me in with your bullshit with your fucking pay pig. I understand you got to stick up for your fucking pay pig. I get it. But do not drag your lying ass with my name into it. That's fucked up. And I even want to show you guys something. Hold on 1 second. I got to shut this for 1 second. Hang on. Whoop. Why does it fucking do that? Ugh. So Jonesin, for some reason, I can't fucking show it, but Jonesin wrote to Loving Life, said, Loving Life, Laura has my address. She's one of the only people that could have doxed me to prove QB wrong about where I live. She didn't, and I appreciate that. Even Jonesin, who I don't speak to, I don't talk to, we're not friends anymore. I know her address, Dietz's address. I would never, ever even comprehend to think, oh, let me dox them now. That's how these people think, not me. Hang on. I don't know why dogs are going nuts. Hold on. Go. No. Winston, in or out? So even Jonesin could have said, oh, yeah, we were worried Jonesy was never worried. Nobody connected to Jonesy was ever worried. It's so fucked up. All right, let me see why they're having. Oh, I know why. Because it's 3:00. Kids are getting off a bus. Hang on. And this is why I don't go live during the day. All right. So let's get back to this.
You would. I don't think you would do that, barbecue, but I think that your feelings were hurt and you were upset and you lashed out. I did the same. I mean, we all do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
So it's okay to lash out. They all do the same thing. It's perfectly okay for them to do the same thing. It's okay for them to get mad. There was a audio or a video of barbecue lady stating, this is how much this heifer wants to spin everything. There was a video stating that she has everyone's address and she is going to find the person by matching up something. She openly fucking said it, okay? Openly said that she was going to go after people's addresses. But here's B protecting her pay pig.
especially when you're under immense pressure with that fucking RICO. I mean, you and Granny both. You guys were both under a lot of pressure. I don't think she'd give out addresses either. I think she was really hurt and she was upset because these people were all friends at one point in time. And, you know, I mean, there's a whole lot of shit that goes on over there that we're not privy to, that we were never a part of. I could hear it yesterday. There's, you know, girls that are fucking involved in it that are, you know, not involved now that were before. There's friends that used to be that are no longer friends that, you know, are doing things to be hurtful. There's things that, you know what I'm saying? Things are being said, lies are being told, lies are being spread, you know, they're going back and forth. It's just a messy situation all the way around. It's just a very messy situation. I also think that, like I said, a lot of these girls were friends. They hung out together. They spent a lot of time together. They, you know, were highly involved with each other.
Is that not every single person that gets called out? Thank you, Star Child. But is that not every single creator who falls out with supporters? What makes this so special other than she's your fucking pay pig? That's it. That's the only difference, because this applies to everybody.
They were a big ass group of people and they were trying to order to support barbecue as her friend. And then when shit hit the fan, a few of them obviously had ordered this cookbook, but we're no longer in support of barbecue. I don't know. I kind of took it. As the girl said she admitted to burning it, and she said she was pissed off and being petty, and she threw it in her fire pit. From what the story was yesterday. Well, I guess from what I heard of it, anyways. So I think that's just where it is. And then I think a couple other girls were being petty and probably did the same dumbass shit because they got a reaction out of barbecue. And so now they think it's funny and it's cute and they're going to try to keep doing it. All right, let's listen in here.
Your life and earned it. Yeah. From you guys today, you know,
Get fucking more than 500 in your chats.
anything. Hold on.
Doesn't know YouTube. Doesn't know this.
What do you mean, Rochelle? Something like what? I just don't know why.
Do. And you know what? I know some of you guys, I know people keep saying TikTokers are shit and TikTokers this, TikTokers that. There's some good people from TikTok. You know, just like there's good people from YouTube, there's also shitty people. There's shitty people from all these platforms, and there's good people. You know, there's good people that do shit things and make mistakes. There's bad people that, you know, are assholes and they con you and they fucking act like, you know, they're just so sweet and innocent. They do the worst of the worst nasty.
Oh, you mean like the one talking? Or your buddies? Or barbecue? Yeah, you're right. Keep telling on yourself.
As shit they could do. The thing of it is, though, behind these screens, we don't know who people really are. We just really don't. Red Flats here. It's amazing how BJ expects loyalty to her and some go along with it. Yeah, well, another thing I've noticed that she does is she's like, they're attacking us. They're going after us. They're trying to take our stuff away or whatever. She makes it out like it's her, like it's all three of them or whoever's up here on the panel with her or her channel or her subscribers or however you want to put it. You know what I'm saying? She acts like people are going after everybody instead of just.
You know what I find the funniest about her saying this? QB is always with a panel, always. And B. Tim is always saying that crap about, oh, it's my this, or it's our panel, or it's my, and she's bitching about Brittany saying it when her own panel guests say it. You would think it's B. Tim's panel half the time. So I thought this was really funny. Like, talk about lack of self-awareness. B, you need some self-awareness because this is fucking sad.
That's what she's doing.
Move on to the next thing. Nana, this is probably going to trigger you, okay? So I want to go ahead and give you a warning. And I'm going to tell you that I'm very, very sorry. I'm angry. I'm very pissed off about this. Oh, well, here we go. I got the timestamp. Hold on. And then we'll get to what I'm talking about now. Her name is Melissa. You know, defending the hell out of barbecue like they're best friends. So now, Michelle, shoot. Michelle, I am so sorry. I did real life.
Yes, the fuck I am. Yes, the motherfuck I am. And I've already showed the fucking receipts. Not once.
Rebecca, you never show fucking receipts, ever. You, Granny, Jay, none of you show fucking receipts. Let's call a spade a spade.
Not twice, but 3 fucking times. 3 fucking times. When Melissa asked to come up here, she came up here. She asked to have a conversation privately, and I told her I would have a conversation with her privately. We spoke for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, got off there, and then I had my live stream. And David and all you little fucks that are sitting behind the scenes fucking with my real life.
So, Queen Bee, you don't like people fucking with your real life, but you have no problem fucking with someone else's real life, right? Because that's what I see.
She sits in your chat, says, hey, I'm going to go troll. I'll be right back. She comes over here, gets in my fucking back chat, runs her goddamn mouth. Runs right back to your fucking panel and brags about calling the fucking police on me because she assumed that I shared some fucking photo or had some photo of her that I didn't even know anything about. First of all. Second of all, she says she's mad about this video that I played with text messages in it. Okay, well, if you're that mad and you're that upset, go strike the fucking video down then. You won't. You can't. Me sharing.
Like, here's the thing, and I'll be honest with you guys. And not that I'm not, but you know what I mean. I fucking am having the hardest time coming back from the CPS bullshit from 4 fucking years ago. The last thing I need is people making up shit that to destroy me anymore. That's just not fucking true. That's why I am so livid over this. And like, it's just bullshit. You don't fuck with someone's business. Your own pay pig sat there yesterday stating how, this is her business. This is her bread and butter. This is her income. And you don't fuck with it. And you all sat there and fucking agreed. But it's okay to do it to me? Nah, fuck you. It's just not. Like I said, I am having the hardest time coming back from something I did years ago. You don't fucking make up shit and just fucking, oh, now we're going to go after a business, or now we're just going to make up stuff. Because, again, Queen Bee, you never came after me for doxing people from my business, because it never fucking happened. And anybody that has ever ordered a candle from me knows that. Even on, and I said this earlier, for those of you that missed it or didn't like my foul mouth, because I went off, even my whistleblowers, and yeah, I call them whistleblowers, but even my whistleblowers, at no point did I ever think, let me dox out their addresses, let me dox out their phone numbers. Even though they try to fucking destroy me, at no point did I even think like that, let alone do it. It's not even who I am, and it's not even a thought that ever came across my mind. Not being mad, not being upset. And one would think that if you fuck me that bad, that I'm going to retaliate, I'm going to do something. Never did the thought even cross my fucking mind. They did what they did, and I'll just never speak to them again. But it was something I did, I can't blame them for something I did. But the fact that they blew it open, they destroyed my YouTube, they destroyed subscribers. Some people will never fucking speak to me again, and that's my consequences. Okay. But to lie about my business, the one fucking thing that I have worked so fucking hard for, that I've put everything that I have into it, and I mean everything. And for these bitches, for her to say to thousands of people, thousands, because her audience is much bigger than mine. And, she'll get 6, 7, 8,000 views by the end of this. I'll be lucky to have 1,500. So her reach is way bigger. And for her to throw me out there with a bunch of fucking lies, I don't know how to get around it. Like, I don't know what I can do. I was very, very happy that I saw someone in Jones's live say, something like, I know a lot of people don't like Laura, but that was fucked up what QB did. I appreciate that. And that's what I've never told subs to do anything like that. But that's what I need. I need you guys to spread everywhere that QB is a fucking liar for that. And that just is not true. Yeah, she said that even Queen Bee said that Laura's never outed private messages. Yeah, I've never outed private messages. Why would I out someone's address? And it's just fucked up. You just don't do that to someone. You don't fucking... Burning a cookbook is totally different. But even that, I didn't burn a cookbook, but you don't fucking do that to someone's business, especially a legit fucking business that she has put her blood, sweat, and fucking tears into. It's bullshit.
Someone else's video is not revenge porning you, okay? That's not going after you. That's not showing pictures of you. You had no fucking reason to call the police yesterday. Or, I'm sorry, the other day. You got told about yourself yesterday. We don't do that shit over here. That is absolutely real motherfucking life. And yes, Brittany, I fully believe you were a motherfucking part of it, 125%. Absolutely. Because not only that, you then let her come on your fucking panel and allowed her to sit and encourage other motherfuckers to do the same. when it was bullshit and a big old nothing burger to begin with.
I never dox Just Angel, ever. I am so sick and tired of people saying that, because the Patreons that fucking hate me now will tell you that I never dox Just Angel. So that is a fucking lie. So you can take your lie and go fuck yourself. Because that stuff was on the internet. We proved that stuff was on the internet. And if anybody wants to fucking say otherwise, I will go ahead and show you where it is on the internet. So fuck you. No, I didn't dox her. I specifically didn't dox her. I have never doxed anybody in fucking who ordered a candle from me, ever.
I don't fucking buy the bullshit excuse either. I don't. That's why I told her yesterday. I said, I'm calling your bluff, because I don't think for one fucking second you had anything to say about those fucking pictures or videos.
Thank you, Love and Life. I had read your comment and I had just mentioned you like 5 minutes ago. I appreciate it. Because I had said that even in Jones Inn, that the Love and Life had come in there and straightened it out. And Jones Inn even said, no, Laura could have done it and wouldn't do it. And I never even thought about it. Like, it wasn't even a fucking thought to do it. I have worked way too fucking hard.
I think you use that as an excuse, because when you called the officer, you told the officer that you had been getting threatened, which was a bold-faced lie. Queen, I personally don't think she deserves your kindness or respect. You went above and beyond to give her a chance, and she brought you into stuff that you wasn't a part of. Well, yeah, it kind of pissed me the fuck off. Like I said, it was ridiculous and it was fucking bullshit to begin with. The shit should have never happened. And then she goes on Granny's yesterday and she's like, well, I could have pressed charges. And Granny said, no, you couldn't have. There was nothing to press charges. She's like, yeah, barbecue lady. They told me I could press charges. Okay, they might have told you between you and barbecue lady, because y'all know each other and you guys have exchanged photos and whatever. But I haven't exchanged photos with shit with anybody. So you're a fucking liar about that. And yes, you are a fucking real lifer, Brittany. I absolutely believe you.
She talks about me again. I just can't find it. I thought it was right after that. But I don't remember hearing Brittany. But I know there was more. I just can't seem to find it.
You had every fucking intention and it was a part of that 125%. Like as well. Not only that, you support a fucking predator. Spuddy Spud is having such an issue with what a predator is. It's associated with increased part of your daughter, Spuds. I called. We got Predator A1. Just do it again. How did you know that? Because I told you. We had a liar. You didn't ask the officer that. You didn't ask him that. I'm going to FOIA it to see. So not only were you being a fucking predator, Jessica, you then handed it off to fucking David, who was being a predator. Anyone that goes after fucking innocent children, in my opinion, is a fucking predator. This is the fucking internet. My children don't fucking know you. They don't know shit about you. They feel fucking violated that you know anything about them. They are minors. That is a fucking predator. To do the shit you're fucking doing is predator behavior. Now, know the difference between pedophile and predator before you come at me. No one has ever called David a fucking pedophile. Nobody. You have been labeled a predator because you are. They conveniently only FOIA'd the 2 reports with my minor teenage daughter involved in them.
Oh, this is why Joneson went live about it. Okay. I was wondering why Joneson was playing an old live, and this is why. Now I get it. So Joneson was showing that QB lied about the Britney's kid or whatever. So now it all makes sense. Now I get it.
They are all accusing me of inciting people to mass report, all because Melissa came up on my panel and she announced on my panel that she called the police on QUEENBEE. Okay, like they're still coming at me.
Not only did she announce it, you let the bitch sit up here and encourage other folks to do the shit and file false police reports on assumptions and whataboutisms. Tell you right fucking now, if somebody came in my chat and was like, hey, I'm going to go troll. They went over to Brittany's chat and they was talking shit to her in the back chat. They called the cops and then came up on my panel and said,
I want to know how come she doesn't like anything being done to her, but she can do and say whatever the fuck she wants to anybody else about anybody else, and it doesn't matter. I seriously want to know that.
I called the cops on Brittany J, you guys. Do you fucking think I'd sit here and be like, oh, okay, what'd you do that for? Tee ha ha. Fuck no. Fuck no, I wouldn't.
All right, I'm going to go back to the beginning because there's a bunch of stuff to unravel. Hold on.
Song, music, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Let me go get Duke. Hold on.
Let me also tell you something I noticed. So QUEENBEE has some big donators. First, it was Eazy-E. Then it was Katie K. Now it's some girl, Melissa. Or Melanie. Notice how they're never together. Notice how they are always like one after the other. Like, I know Katie K is still there, but I find it interesting that that first Eazy-E and then he disappears. Then Katie K. Then she stops donating. And now Melanie. Makes me wonder if it's the same person and they just keep transferring names. That's kind of what I think. I'm wondering if that's what it is, because Sinner had called her out for, what was it? Sinner had called her out for having like fake donators or the same donator, or it's always the same people donating. So I wonder if she transferred, like if Katie K changed her name in order to donate so it looks like someone else. Because I'm just wondering, how come nobody ever donates together? Like, how come Katie K, Eazy-E, and Katie don't all donate at the same time? It's kind of weird. I don't know, just something I thought of.
All right, I had to let the little one in too. She went out with Duke, so he's out there sitting on the deck, just living life. You know what I mean? Living his best life. Here, let me drop this link. Because, I mean, I didn't listen to all of it. Like I said, I just caught up on emails and messages and all that kind of shit. So there's a lot that I missed. I tried to listen in on Granny's when I could, but I had phone calls and my phone kept going dead. And I tried to pop in and keep up and tried to, you know what I mean, make sure to, you know. Long sucker. That's a long sucker. We've been there and done that though. So, and you guys, guess what else? Guess who got a motherfucking membership to the Fupa, Flip Floppa, the Flip Floppa Fupa Predator Mod Squad. This fucking humble bumble right here. Dun dun dun. She was fucking pissed.
All right, let me just state something about Melissa. I'm just glad that she never came over here. I am heartbroken that anybody lost a child, but she inserts herself in the drama like I've never seen. And she flip-flops like I've never seen. And she just wants to be in the quote-unquote in crowd. And if that in crowd isn't the in crowd like she thinks, then she'll just flip-flop to the other side. So, I mean, I'll never understand why Sinner was upset that she gave him a $400 super chat, and he was like bothered by it. That I'll never understand. But yeah, I think she's a little fucking wacky. Yeah, but her daughter died a couple of years ago. It's not like she just passed. I agree with that too. She definitely does need therapy.
She was. Oh shit! Look at you, girls. Hold on. I'm gonna admit I'm done miss some shit going on in here. Veritas burning books is considered a hate crime. Well, the words with it and the things being said, apparently, like I said, I wasn't privy to it. I didn't know anything about all.
Yeah, but loving life. Okay, so Ryan Upchurch once gave me a $500 tip. Do you think I give a fuck why he gave it to me? I don't give a shit why he gave it to me. He gave me a $500 tip. That's all I cared about. Like, thank you, Ryan. That's it. I didn't give a shit why. Didn't matter why.
All that, so I learned about it. Mystic Butterfly, missed you, girl. Good morning, beautiful. Well, you know what? I missed you guys too. I missed you guys for real. Jen Rebel gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, baby, for dropping 5 of them on us. I was gonna pop on last night. I was waiting on Burnt Toast to get finished up because I wanted to listen to her, you know, and
And look who starts the live with another $100 dono. Shocker, right? Shocker.
I just got really tired, and I was like, you know what? It's almost 11 o'clock. I got to get up at 5:30. I'm already tired and dragging ass, and it was a long day. So I was like, you know what? I'll just catch up with them in the morning. You know, we can chit chat for a few hours in the morning. So I thought that'd be cool to pop on here with y'all and have some coffee and shit to shit. Miss Barbecue Morning Blunts, $100 super sticker. I know that's right. Thank you, baby. Be a blessed be dropping a membership on us. Thank you so much. Melanie coming in, dropping 50 of them on us. Thank you, Miss Melanie. I appreciate you, baby. You always come through. Sweet.
Oh, I don't think she has anything on Barbecue Lady. Barbecue Lady is her pay pig. Barbecue Lady buys her friendship and buys her quote unquote protection, because if Barbecue Lady had no money, QB wouldn't look at her at all. Now, Yarn, the one thing QB does that I think is great if you're getting a lot of super chats, I wish Clue would do this. She keeps it, she doesn't like thank them as soon as it happens. She keeps it together and then she thanks everyone at once. So it looks like she's getting all these at once, but these could have been done 10 minutes prior. She just keeps it all together. I think that's a really good way to do it and not be interruptive when you are getting a ton of super chats. I really wish Clue would do this. It would be a lot more enjoyable to watch. I never thought I would say, like, I can't watch Clue anymore because she just gets too many super chats. And it's like, that's what the whole stream is hearing her noise. It's very weird to me.
Jones with a $5 super stick said, good morning, Queen. Good morning to you too, baby. Hope you guys are having a great day and a great week. It's a good start to a good week. Putting things in the past, putting things behind you, being, getting shit done and over with here. I burned a book about Summer Wells on a live stream. I don't consider it a hate crime. I consider it a gesture of love. Well, I think there's difference. She said she apologized yesterday because it wasn't, I think it came out wrong. In my opinion, I just.
No, but I'll tell you a good divide that's coming. So this morning, and this is like the only time I've ever watched Jay, Clue, and Granny were on Jay for Justice panel, like right before I went live, and they were bashing barbecue. This is going to be an interesting divide.
I think she meant like the messages that went with it, but she didn't explain it. Like, I don't really know. It ain't my story to tell. Wasn't my comment to be made. I'm just saying I think there was a little more to it because I fell the fuck out laughing. I'm like, what? Hey, God, what are you talking about, Willis? And then I'm like,
okay, now pay attention because QB just said that she doesn't know why Barbecue Lady said it was a hate crime because it absolutely wasn't a hate crime. Now, listen to this spin. Like, you want to talk about the biggest fucking spin doctor you're ever going to hear? Listen.
And then I heard she could come up and say, what she had said. And she asked just that it not be used in that reference. And I was like, okay, I understand. I get it. I fully am aware. Like, I get it. And then I guess there were messages coming in being real nasty and hateful. So that's why she had said that, because I guess there were some disturbing messages with it or something, or from the person. Fuck, I don't know. Anyways, it ain't my place to even speak on all that. I'm just saying that's where what I was told where the comment came into play, why the comment was made. So anyhow, I hear Brittany went through it. She had quite a bit to say. Let's see here. The TikTok girls. There's a whole lot going on. I know that Tammy is saying barbecue's lying. Barbecue's like, no, hell no, I'm not lying. You're lying. And there's a whole lot of shit. It's just a big mess. Honestly, it's just a big ass mess. Miss Hartley. I heard fucking Brittany J went off on Emmy Joe for being in Jay's chat. She was pissed. She was pissed. I know, I mean, it is what it is, baby.
See, now I want to know why 1,000 people are watching her right now. That's what I want to know. She's barely coherent. And hey, Robbie, and she sounds like she's stoned out of her mind. And yet she's got 1,000 people watching her right now. Imagine this all the time alone. If she never had panel guests, who wants to watch this? Obviously, this whole community. Make it make sense.
Let's see. Miss Hartley filled us in on some of the fuckery going on. Let's go check her clips out. See what she got going on. Let's see.
No, I don't. No. Do you know that Jay? Do you know what they did tonight? Do you support what they're doing to Seth? Fuck what they're doing to me, Emmy. Do you support what they're doing to Seth? You go over there tonight, Emmy, and you go over into Jay's chat and you start giving Clue advice on her computer. Do you not see what these people do, Emmy? Night after night? Listen, you don't got to be loyal to me. That ain't what I'm asking. But
Oh, by the way, one of my Patreons said that Barbecue Lady's lawyer was on some kind of interview and said that Barbecue Lady is a big true crime creator. Like, what? Where the fuck did you get that from? I don't even think she talks true crime at all. And I'm going to tell you guys what I said last night. talking about Sebastian Rogers doesn't make you into true crime. None of these people are true crime. Not one of them. If anybody is true crime, it would be Brittany over all of them. Like, for real. She's the only one that talks about multiple true crimes.
The fact that you could go over there and support those people after what they do to all of us. Do you know what Jay was doing tonight, Emmy? I'm gonna show y'all what Jay was doing tonight, y'all.
No, I do kind of. I got mixed feelings on it. We'll go over it.
Christian podcast. It's not.
I'm going to say what I said originally. The RICO was a scare tactic. It was never meant to go in front of a judge. It was never meant to go anywhere. It was nothing more than a scare tactic that nobody needed an attorney for. It would have sat in the filings forever. I don't believe, this is where Lesniak is going to get in a lot of trouble. I don't believe he had anything to do with it. I think it was written by Nick. I think it was written by Betty. All those ridiculous additions they added to it was nothing short of stupid. And the fact that Lesniak attached his name to it, he should sue Nick. If he had a half a brain, he would sue Nick. For real. Because he would sue Nick and Betty. Because they used his name in multiple places that should never have his name attached. He should cut ties with both of them forever. That would show me that he's like a real lawyer. If he doesn't, then I don't know, but I'm not an attorney, and I knew that everything about that case was nonsense. Everything written about it was nonsense, and all the extra filings were complete garbage. And again, I'm not even an attorney. So I just cannot believe that they even got attorneys for it, because they didn't need it. It would have never gone in front of the judge. And the only reason why it did go in front of a judge was because of their anti-SLAPP. That's it. Other than that, it was never accepted. It was nothing but a scare tactic that blew up in their face. And now they're going to pay for it. Rightfully so.
Not a Christian channel, but still, this man's kid is gone, and y'all mocking him on Easter. Forgive me. Sorry. I thought it was a Christian network. I don't know. I've never heard of it. Emmy was, so I'm asking Emmy, what is up with that? You're telling me, Emmy, why do you got to chase the man? I'm done.
Be my advice.
Katie and Chris have routinely deceived the public in what's going on. And I think that was most notable at the 1-year milestone, when they've basically told us that this child was an infant living in an adult, a teenage.
I'm going to say it again, too. Hartley is like a 75-year-old grandmother. Why are you spending all your fucking time wasting time with this bullshit? Like, do you need QB's approval that bad? Like, go touch grass, Hartley. This is, like, embarrassing. For real. But I know you need your pat on the back from fucking, from QB. Just like you used to need it from Diane and Wendy. You're pathetic, Hartley. Like, 100% pathetic.
Boy's body. And then finally, just in the last few months,
They have never once said that.
have acknowledged that those descriptions were a little skewed, and just, because the fluid situation and all, just information got crossed, even though we have a litany of interviews where they did nothing but disrespect their child, the child that they say they love, the child that Chris tries to say he didn't touch, that he didn't abuse. But yet we hear things like his biological dad, Seth Rogers' dad, has all his underwear from his mommy's house because the stepdaddy said He can sit in diapers. He can sit in diapers. We don't want any underwear. If he doesn't clean his room the way I think he should clean his room, I'm going to throw all his stuff away. This is a child. Like, none of our children clean the way we want them to. Ask my mom. Ask my mom. You know, if my mom were to throw away everything in the room, when I was a teenager, now I'm a normal teenager, right? I didn't have the kind of ailments that Sebastian had. I didn't have the kind of disabilities Sebastian had. I was just a normal kid. Ask my mom how many times I clean my room. Every time I clean my room, that woman would have to go in there and unearth everything from up under my bed so she could wash it. Okay? That's how I wash my clothes. Can you imagine my mom throwing everything out that I love and own? My telephone, my TV, my computer, anything and everything because I didn't clean the room the way she wanted me to clean the room? I don't know if I don't think I clean the way my mom cleans. Okay, to this day, I'm 45, almost 46 years old, and my mom's got white glove clean house, okay? Like, I'm lucky if I have, you know, not so much dust on my ceiling fan, right? My mom, there's not a speck of dust in her entire house. You come in here, you're going to sneeze a little bit. Why? I got papers everywhere, okay? That's why. If you guys looked around, like, I literally have gobs and gobs of paper. You know what paper does? It leaves dust.
Like, what is the point of this video? I don't even get the fucking point of it. Like, why is this clip worthy? Because she's talking about cleaning? I don't get it. Like, they put together these videos. I don't understand. So welcome, Save Robbie in the house. Benson in the house. I need a back rub in the house. Large Marge in the shit show. At least memberships went to people that are here.
Leaves dust. Gobs and gobs. I got a whole table over here stacked this high with paper. With paper. I think I have a paper allergy. Just saying. Too much paper. Too much paper. Alicia says, hey, KP got on the stand and said, you talked about her son every day, sometimes multiple times a day. Like, that was like, oh, no. She also said I trespassed.
What up, B-Thug?
Hey, what's up? I just wanted to mention something before the previous one. She said litigation is over. No, it's not over. There is a judgment phase, and Granny stated that if she does not get triple damages, she will do a malicious prosecution case against you or the other people.
Are you fucking joking me? Did you guys hear that? So Granny just can't let it go. She's too hooked on the money. Way too hooked on the money. So now, even if she doesn't get damages, which she's not going to get because the judge ordered no damages, then she's going to now go after Brittany or Betty for a malicious lawsuit. Dude, give it up. Like, what are you going to get out of Betty? Nothing. Not a fucking thing. How about you stop wasting your subs' money and fucking do something positive? Why don't you go on vacation? Take your kids on vacation. Do something positive. What the fuck you think you're going to get out of Betty?
And she basically fits the criteria for a malicious prosecution case. Like basically the malicious intent, like lack of probable cause, basically the damages that you've done to her reputation, you are pretty much fucked. So
B-Tim, nobody is fucked, okay? Granny is not going to fight a malicious lawsuit because Betty has not ruined her reputation. These people live in a fucking fantasy world. Granny has more views and more money than she's ever made on YouTube since all of this started. Okay? Since all of this started. You can't file somebody going after you and ruining your reputation when the monetary value shows otherwise. And any lawyer that tells you differently, you need to fire because that's facts. Total facts. You are not going to gain anything. And if Granny's lawyer is as good as she says she is, or as good as she says he is, then he would be telling you this, Granny. You don't have a case because you're making more money because of this than you ever have. Your views have skyrocketed. Betty has done nothing to hurt your reputation. This part of the law, it drives me fucking insane that their subs are so blind to how the law works. Go ahead and call a lawyer. Just go ahead and call an attorney and ask them, and they'll see that I'm 100% right. Granny has no case. And her lawyer had to tell her she has no case. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And it's even more ridiculous that people buy into this nonsense. So B. Tim, no, she has no case.
So if you're going to get if you don't get hit with triple damages, you will be pushed into a malicious prosecution case. So no, the litigation is not over, ma'am.
Then you keep paying for it, B. Tim. Just go ahead and you keep paying for it because it's absolutely disgusting. Betty is going to learn her lesson. You're not going to get 3 times damages because that doesn't even exist. That's not even a fucking thing. You're going to get lawyers' fees like anywhere else. You're going to keep this going. Guess what's going to happen? You are going to burn yourself and you're going to look like an asshole. And eventually, you're going to be halfway through a lawsuit and subs are going to stop paying. Then what? Then what the fuck are you going to do? How about you get the money that's going to be ordered to you and you move the fuck on with it? Plain and simple. Just move on.
This is only the beginning. That's what you don't quite understand.
No, what you don't understand, B. Tim, is Granny is going to destroy herself. Absolutely fucking destroy herself. And anybody that's pushing her to keep going on legally and to keep going to another fucking lawsuit, you're an asshole. You are an absolute fucking asshole. Anybody, including attorneys, will tell you, if you want justice, you're not getting it in a courtroom. If you want custody, you don't go through the courts. You just don't involve the courts in your life, and you don't continue stupid litigation that you may or may not win. And what happens if Granny loses? Because any court is a roll of the dice. It doesn't matter who it is. It's a roll of the dice. You could win or you could lose. And what happens if Granny spends all this money and she loses? And I can tell you right now, she would lose a defamation case or a malicious prosecution case. She would lose. And she would lose because she is making money. She doesn't have monetary loss. Nobody knows who Granny's watching is. There is no destroying her reputation. This is all one big fucking grift. And B. Tim claims to be so smart. B. Tim, you're a fucking idiot. This is a grift, plain and simple. And I'm sorry that you can't see it. And you are perpetuating subs to continue to give their money. What happens when she loses? What happens if she does this and she loses $20,000? Are you going to fucking pay for it? Just because you win one doesn't mean you're winning all of them. Wake the fuck up.
And you keep on digging yourself fucking deeper and deeper into that hole, Brittany J. Keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Just keep on thinking it's all over. No, it's not. And try to hide your assets and other people's names. Good luck with that. Good.
What assets, B. Tim? What the fuck do you think these people have? Like, for real. What do you think they have? Have you seen Brittany's house? I don't think the girl has much. Have you seen where Betty lives? She don't have much. Nick is just a fraud. Dog's $1 million in debt. Julia, I don't know anything about. But think about it. And what does Seth have? Absolutely nothing. So what are you gaining? What are you going to court for? Here's a word of advice. If you're going to sue someone, make sure they have money. if you're going to go after someone, make sure they have real money. Because if they don't, what are you getting out of it? Not a fucking thing. So for this moron to sit there and keep telling Granny, oh, let's do this and you're going to do this, you sound fucking ignorant. And there's not a lawyer that would back you up. That's why I think they're all in on this grift, fucking wasting subs' money. But who listens to me? I've only been right about all of it so far, but who listens to me?
Good luck with that. So, to this nasty woman, no one has a paper allergy. I have tons of paper, and I don't have dust and sneezing and disgusting. Maybe like her mother, basically BHB's mother was actually raised right, and unfortunately, she made a mistake with Betty because she lives in the filthy house.
Please don't say shit like that. Nobody's a fucking mistake. I don't like Betty, but I'm not going to sit there and say her life is a mistake. That's someone's child. That's someone's sister. That's someone's aunt. That's someone's granddaughter. Like, Betty is still a real fucking person. I can't stand when B. Tim says stupid shit like that. I don't care if you like Betty or not. There are people that love her. And for you to say she's a mistake, no, B. Tim, you're a fucking mistake. Maybe your mom should have had an abortion. And then you wouldn't be here spewing your ignorant bullshit. How does it feel, B. Tim? It's fucking gross. You don't say that to someone or about someone, whether you like them or don't like them. Because if, God forbid, Betty passed, God forbid Betty got into an accident or something, and she was no longer here, how would you feel, B. Tim? Would you be partying for it? Or would you hurt for her family? Like, the way these people think are just so fucked up, and they don't even get it. They just don't see how fucked up their train of thoughts are.
So, but yeah, I think like when people say the litigation is over, no, it's not over. And I think Granny or Barbecue can have a fantastic case for malicious prosecution, and I don't think it's over. And thanks, Mr. Dog the Bounty Hunter, showing us your private jet. That will show us that you will be able to pay, or you will be one of the people to go after for the payment for what you've pulled people.
Oh, I agree. Betty's full of shit. Betty's an asshole. Betty's a fucking psycho. Betty's a narcissist. I'm with you 100% on all of that. Not to, pat myself on the back, but I was the first one to ever call Betty out on Molly's panel. So before any of these people even knew who the fuck Betty was. So believe me, I'm no Betty fan. But I wouldn't want to, but to say that, oh, I wish she was never been born, or I've heard him say she should be exited from the earth. Like, he just says the most vile shit. And it's just fucked up and it's wrong. Like, Betty's a human being. You may not like her, but she still deserves a place in the world. I mean, she does have people that love her, and that's all that matters.
You pulled here for your fucking publicity stunt. So, I don't know. Very fucked up. Very
No, Ash, that young girl is now with one of the Idaho 4, what's her name? Gonzalez. She is engaged or dating the son of Steve Gonzalez, Kaylee's brother, and I think she moved out there. Probably her and her mom moved out there. But yeah, I don't think she fucks with Betty anymore. She's too busy in love.
very stupid people. They really should learn to shut the fuck up. Basically telling people that you should try to go bankrupt.
Oh, look, Barbecue with another super chat. Buying her way in, buying her space. Yeah, Olivia. Hey, Criminal Med.
Or try to hide your assets. It's very stupid.
Excellent point. Yeah, Olivia. She is engaged now, right? Okay, yeah. So she's engaged. Steve Gonzalez Jr. Yes, Olivia. Let me also, Mama brought up a really good point. Don't all these people get on me for not believing in God? Don't all these people say how they're Christian, Catholic, they believe in the Lord, they believe in Jesus? Doesn't B. Tim say that he's, he believes in God? Well, isn't everybody God's children? Yet he has said that she should be wiped out. Think about it. Well, you can't believe in God and then have such hateful towards someone that you've never even met. Like, you never even met her, B. Tim. You don't even know her. Maybe, just maybe, I'm not saying she is, but maybe she's a totally different person outside of YouTube. Maybe she's a wonderful person. Maybe, I don't know. You never know. Oh, he didn't believe in God? Narcos? Maybe you're right then. I thought they all were like, God this, God that. Yeah, Olivia, I think she got in videos so she can, meet and fall in love. But hey, if she's happy, good for her. I'm not going to fault her for it. She can't help who you fall in love with. And she got away from Betty, so that's a good thing.
So,
Yes, it is. Barbecue Lady said, whether from TikTok or YouTube, we are all in the world. Hold on. We are all in the world. We make conscious choice to be better to one another every day. I support QB. She isn't hateful. Well, thank you.
QB isn't hateful? That's like saying Betty's not a liar. QB is full of hate and jealousy and rage, and just like Betty is a liar. Saying that she's not doesn't go hand in hand.
I appreciate that. And then she says, hold on.
We got another chat from Barbecue Lady. Olivia is engaged to Kaylee Gonzalez's younger brother or older brother. I think older brother. She met. They've been inseparable ever since they met, and they fell in love.
Dragonetti.
She also said, yes, B. Tim, I talked to my attorney yesterday, and there are 3 claims we have a solid case for. Yeah, so the counterclaims are going to come in. You're going to be pulled into the state of Pennsylvania, and you're going to be fucking sued. Like, this is what I tried to tell you, Brittany. When you signed those papers and you did your little campaign against these people and defamed these people and laughed and giggled, you put yourself in a bad position. And I tried to warn you to be as smart as the fucking tacos, because at least the tacos had a brain and said to themselves, let me get the fuck out of this one. Get out of this stupid filing. Smartest one of the bunch. Smartest one of the bunch. So, very stupid people. Continue being.
B. Tim, you have never been right about anything that you spew up there at all. Just remember that. You're wrong about legal stuff. You're wrong about everything. But again, just like Barbecue Lady, we know you buy your spot on QB.
Stupid. Continue, all you morons listening to your fucking sycophants that just say, oh, you do nothing wrong. It's just these people. I try to tell you, continue. You're probably going to be facing litigation for years to come. That's what's probably going to happen.
Please tell me where Granny's Watching is getting the money for litigation for 3 years. Never. Subs are not going to fund this for life. Yeah, they may be on a high now, but they're not funding this for life. They're going to finally wake up. They're going to hear the right person, but they're going to eventually wake the fuck up or run out of money. Either or. I just cannot believe how B. Tim is like, yeah, we're going to be in litigation for 3 years. No, you're not. And you can't pull blood from a stone. And any decent attorney, like literally, you don't even have to be a great attorney. Any decent attorney can get Brittany out of this. Like, it wouldn't even cost that much money. Brittany could probably have a paralegal write her a motion to get her out of it, and she'd be out of it.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Because let me read the 4 elements of malicious
I
prosecution.
was like, for what? What happened?
No, congratulations for having years of litigation in your future. Because this is the
Here we go. Now we're going to hear B. Tim's knowledge. Is B. Tim a nurse? No, I think he works in like construction or something.
I'll read you malicious prosecution in the state of.
So you're talking to Brittany J. Okay.
I'm talking to all of them. They're all going to get sued.
Okay. All right.
Requires proven that the defendants initiated, continued a legal proceeding against the plaintiff with malice and without probable cause, resulting in harm to the plaintiff. The plaintiff must also.
Again, there was no harm to the plaintiff. Well, wait, he just say the plaintiff? That doesn't even make sense. Now, I don't know. He's in some kind of union in New York City. So I don't know which union.
Also demonstrate that the proceeding terminated in their favor. So, I mean, and then.
I was like, for what? What happened?
No, congratulations for having years of litigation in your future. Because this is the. I'll read you malicious prosecution in the state of.
So you're talking to Brittany J. Okay.
I'm talking to all of them. They're all going to get sued.
Okay. All right.
Requires proven that the defendants initiated, continued a legal proceeding against the plaintiff with malice and without probable cause, resulting in harm to the plaintiff. The plaintiff must also demonstrate that the proceeding terminated in their favor. So, I mean, and then initiate.
Someone show me the harm that was done. That's what I want to know. Show me the harm that was done to Granny or Barbecue Lady. Because everything in the courts is about money. When they say harm, they want money. Defamation is about money. Everything is about financial. Anybody can see the money that Barbecue Lady drops on another creator, and they'll be laughed out of court. Literally laughed out of court. But that's one thing that B. Tim is not stating, is that it's all about financial. Granny and Barbecue Lady had absolutely zero harm done to them. Zero. Not their reputation, not their the only thing that they're going to go on is their YouTube channels. That's what you have to go on when you're fighting on YouTube, basically. Because they don't have real jobs. There's nothing that harmed their real life. And they've gained money and they've gained subscribers. They have no case at all. Why anybody, like, I will tell Brittany herself, Brittany, all you have to do is file a motion and be done with this. They have nothing, literally nothing.
Initiation of legal proceedings. The plaintiff must show that the defendant started and continued legal action against them. Lack of probable cause. The prosecution must, prosecute. They put prosecute, but plaintiff or whatever.
Again, Mama, remember this though. Most of the stress that comes with being sued is how much money you have to pay out of your pocket. How this is going to hurt you financially. That's where the stress comes from. But because if you hire an attorney, your attorney is handling everything. You're not standing up in court. That's why you pay an attorney, because you give it to them. You know the law. You know what we got to do. Do your thing. That's what that's where stress comes from. When your lawyer's like, okay, well, I had to write 15 pages and now you owe me another 10 grand. Then you're like, fuck. They didn't have that issue. At least Granny didn't. I don't know about Barbecue. But from the amount of money that Barbecue drops on QUEENBEE, she's obviously got it. So there's no stress there. Granny wants to turn around and say how miserable and how much stress she had. Stress for what? You didn't have any stress. You didn't even pay for fucking anything. And if you didn't text your lawyer every 30 seconds with stupid fucking questions, you wouldn't even ran up a bill. Your lawyer would have done their thing and you would have moved on. But all of this extra is such bullshit. And I really, truly wish I had a bigger audience where people would fucking see that I'm right. This is a grift. And B. Tim is just too fucking stupid to know. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Amanda, I don't think I said hi to you. And no, your comment before was fine. Yeah, just having to hire an attorney when you don't have the funds is stressful. Agreed. But that's not the case here. Granny raised way more than her attorney costs.
For the malicious prosecution case, must be shown to have been initiated without sufficient. It's like, you just fucking stupid. BJ says B-Tim needs to pay for all the things that he's done. Excuse me. Yeah. Well, she needs to pay for all the things she's done with her pocketbook. That's my opinion. I think she needs to open up her pocketbook and pay for all the things she's done, because she fucking plays these games and now she wants to stop. Now she wants, because she lost, now she wants to stop. Claim for common law abuse and process claims for wrongful use. Yeah. So if they don't get their triple damages, they're going to get you for something else. Congratulations. You've initiated years.
They're not getting triple anything. I don't even know who the fuck made this up about this triple shit. I've never even heard of a court saying, okay, you get triple. No, you get fucking lawyer's fees. It's not a game. These people think it's a fucking game. It's not a game. Judge ordered lawyer's fees, and that's what it'll be. Lawyer's fees. You don't fucking triple it. I don't even know where that came from. But I don't even think a lawyer would ask for that. I mean, I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that. But what I know of the law, you can't just say, okay, we're asking for triple lawyer's fees. Logically, that doesn't even make sense. Logically, that, like in damages, you could say, okay, we want triple damages. That I could understand. But you're not getting triple in lawyer's fees. That's just not even fucking logical for anyone that knows anything about the law. It just doesn't work like that. It's just stupid.
Of litigation. Remember what you told her, Queen? You said you think it's a dream, but it's actually a nightmare. Something to that effect. Queen's probably chasing.
No, B. Tim, as usual, she's not paying any attention to you or anything you're fucking talking about because she don't give a fuck. When you gonna realize that? She don't give a fuck who's on her panel. That gives her reign to do whatever the fuck she wants while all you guys carry a panel and she brings in the super chats. Who's smarter than her?
Duke around or something. I don't know. She knows when I rant, she could just basically have like a couple of minutes to run around and do chores or something like.
And not to be an asshole, but her kids are at school now, so she's not taking care of her kids. So why isn't she on panel listening to you? Because she don't care. That's why. B. Tim, when the fuck are you gonna wake up and get it? She don't give a fuck about you or what you have to say. You bore her to death, or she would actually listen.
Like that, because she knows I ran for a couple of minutes. So that's probably what's happening.
I know that people have said that we'll be. Yeah, I am loving life. But nobody has shown me where that is. Because I have looked up the Pennsylvania anti-slap law, and nowhere does it say anything about triple. Now, hear me out. What I said a couple of minutes ago, triple damages, not triple lawyer's fees. The judge told them they weren't getting damages. They were only getting lawyer fees at this time. I mean, it could change, don't get me wrong. But I agree with you that it may be triple damages. That's definitely could be possible. But that's not what they're getting. They weren't awarded damages. They were only awarded lawyer's fees. And people are still saying they're going to get triple the amount. Like, no, they're getting triple lawyer's fees. No, they're not. So thank you for confirming that.
That's probably the situation. B-Tim, you owe BG a cup of cheap coffee. Joe heard nothing. She has insinuated that B-Tim has done RL done bad things. Sorry, but B-Tim. No, I haven't done anything. The only thing I've done is basically explain to her the problems that she's faced. And said, this was a really stupid idea. You're being a piece of shit here, doing this real life shit, and you should not do it. And you should not join litigation with fucking Nick the Hat and all these fucking weirdos. You know? I only have an hour to be on because I got work. I got to head out to, so.
B-Tim, why would Brittany listen to you? Like you have her best interest at heart? I mean, really, why would she listen to you? I wouldn't listen to you.
Somewhere to work. I can't give you the location due to doxers and weirdos. But yes, I have work. I have to leave at about an hour. So just letting you guys know. B-Tim takes the stairs instead of the elevator. Well, I don't take the elevator for the subways because those, number one, smell. Number two, I get worried about them getting stuck. And then I'm trapped in an elevator. And the transit authority is not exactly the best at their job. Let's just say that much. But I would say that my lawyer is going to CBS News today about the slap. Yeah, well, it's great publicity for these lawyers. I mean, honestly.
Yes, Amber. And that's what they're saying that they're doing. So Amber says, in order for it to change what was awarded, wouldn't they have to pursue more, grift more, pay more for attorney's fees? 100%. And that's what B-Tim is saying that they're going to do. That they already have, if they don't get damages, which they're not getting, then now they're going to grift more money for years of litigation to go after Brittany and others for malicious something. Yeah, okay. Now, all right, so I was wrong about if they're all party to it, but here's the thing. If she is going to go after Brittany civilly, she would have to do it in Brittany's state. She wouldn't be doing it in her state. If you're going after someone for money, it has to be in their state. So, hold on. Let me double check this. I mean, I know that's how it is, but I don't know about Pennsylvania. Hold on. Okay. Right here. So B-Tim. Come on, you piece of shit. All right. B-Tim. Why don't you look up your laws, B-Tim? So here we go. Here's your proof. Can you guys see that? Or you can't? Yeah, you guys should be able to see that, right? Okay. If you live in Pennsylvania and want to sue someone in another state, you typically file the civil lawsuit in the state where the defendant resides or where the incident that led up to the lawsuit occurred. This is often referred to as principal or venue in civil law. So now, personally, I don't know where Brittany lives, but think about that for a second. So B-Tim is up there on QB's panel running his ignorant, stupid ass mouth, not knowing how the law works, and Granny over there still grifting money for a lawsuit that can't be in her own state, which means her lawyer most likely can't represent her. So what does that tell me? That her lawyer has nothing prepared to go after Brittany. It could be Nick. They could have something, for Nick or Hong because they live in the state of Pennsylvania. But yeah, I'm going to get to that too, Star Child. But to say that oh, my lawyer's going to go after Brittany and my lawyer's going to go after this. Really? Your lawyer really said that, Granny? Because you don't sue in your own state. So I guess your lawyer just happens to be, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Licensed in another state, in Brittany's state. Beats him. Google can be your friend, okay? Granny, stop lying to subs. Your lawyer didn't prepare anything against Brittany. Brittany, please, I hope you hear this. I'll jump on your live and tell you this personally. There's nothing Granny can do to you in the state of Pennsylvania. So anyone that's grifting to this fake-ass fucking lawsuit that B. Tim keeps perpetuating, here's a fact. The fact is, it wouldn't be in the same state. Now, is it possible that Granny's attorney is licensed in Brittany's state? It's possible. I mean, I can't say that he's definitely not. But I'm going to go with my gut instinct and say the odds are that he's not. And that Granny's lying. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. Because it says right here. And I knew that with most civil cases, but I'm like, all right, maybe Pennsylvania's a little different. Maybe I'm wrong before I say anything. Let me kind of look it up first. And sure enough, I was right. Again, I was right. And not to toot my own horn, but it seems to happen often when it comes to legal shit. Because I know despite the assholes, I actually do know what the fuck I'm talking about. All right. So again, if Granny's running around saying that her lawyer prepared something to go against Brittany, and that's what B. Tim is stating, you're lying. And you're an idiot, B. Tim. As I've been saying. Now, I said this too about the damages. And I've said this all along. And Wheel B, I've also said this from jump. That all these, that they're never going to see a dime. They're absolutely never going to see a dime. Because these people are either going to file bankruptcy, they're going to keep it in appeals for years. And everyone said to me, you don't know what you're talking about. I said last night, I'm fighting with fucking people on Reddit over this. Oh, they're going to get so much money, and Granny's idiot supporters are clueless and say that. I was trying not to dox her mama. I was trying not to say where she was. Not that it matters, but yeah. I highly doubt that a lawyer in Pennsylvania is licensed in North Carolina. I mean, it's possible. It's not like it's California. It's possible. But probability is kind of low unless he had a case in North Carolina. But maybe licensed in Jersey, New York, Connecticut, that I can see. But being licensed all the way in North Carolina, I highly doubt. But, I mean, it's possible. I'm not going to say no. Nobody's going to get rich, and nobody is ever going to get paid out of this. And B. Tim is just lying, and Granny's lying. But going back to my original point that I've also said from jump, these people weren't, and this is why I think they weren't getting damages. They were never asking for money. It's not like Nick and them were asking for like $100,000 and then the judge is like, oh, hell no, we're going to reverse that. And now we're going to give you $300,000 because of it. If that was the case, I would be saying I'd be saying a totally different statement. But the other side never asked for money to begin with. So if you never asked for money, they're not going to award money because you never asked for money in the first place. That's why I don't know why everyone thinks they're getting damages. Now, is it possible that a judge is like, a judge could do something and a judge could say, okay, this is so frivolous, I'm going to award you $50,000. Yeah, I mean, a judge could. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think a judge is they weren't asking for money. We're not going to award you money. but we will award you lawyer's fees. That's standard civil court. Yeah, no, I'm not talking the slap. I'm talking the that B. Tim said that Granny's now suing Brittany for malicious intent or something, or Betty, if the judge doesn't give them damages or something. The judge isn't going to give them damage because there are no damages. They didn't have any damages. And a lawyer's not going to give them damages because of it. You have to be able to show that you lost money. You have to be able to show that you lost a lot of things. No, malicious intent would be an entirely separate lawsuit. Unless she's going after Nick. If she names Nick and all of them and the ones that live in the state, then possibly. But the way B. Tim made it sound was it's a separate lawsuit. You know, once the judge makes a ruling, the case is over. She hired the lawyer for an anti-slap. She didn't hire the lawyer to have the lawyer in his back pocket. She hired the lawyer for the anti-slap. She paid the lawyer for the anti-slap. That's what the lawyer paid for. That's what she paid for. All this other shit is separate. She didn't pay an attorney. Her subs paid an attorney. No, you're not. Google is your friend, Good Vibes. I Google everything. Google is definitely your friend. I live on Google. I look up everything. No. And here's why, Beth. This is my own personal observation. I again, don't hold me to it. I could be wrong. This is just my opinion. Well, the facts of what I'm going to say, then I'll give an opinion. But the facts of what I'm going to say is everything in the courts is about money. Your damages have to have a dollar amount. It doesn't matter about your mental state. You have to have a dollar amount. And the reason that is because the dollar, like the courts don't know you. The judges don't know you. But when there's a dollar amount involved, that's a tangible thing that a court can look at and say, okay, you lost, your income because of their lies. You lost this because of their lies. You lost all your, financial status, because of their lies. I'll give you a good example, a better way to explain it. Somebody gets falsely accused of SA. Their entire life is destroyed. They lose their job. They lose their income. They're shunned by the community. They are completely they don't even know how they're paying the bills. They're now living on the street. Their wife divorces them. Their kids stop talking about them. Kids stop talking to them. They lose everything. And then the person that accused them comes out and says that they lied. Well, that guy can now sue that person who accused them originally because they lost everything. You see tangible items that this guy lost his whole life. It's not as simple of, oh, I'm sorry. That's a tangible item that a judge can see and make awards for. That's the type of scenario where a judge, it's an automatic. You get accused of killing someone and you spend 15 years in jail. Well, you come out, you lost everything. You lost your whole life. That's why you end up with millions from the system. Am I making sense? You guys know what I'm saying? But because those are tangible items that a judge can base their opinion on, or base their financial groundwork on, however way you want to put it. But my opinion comes, and that's all factual. My opinion comes in in the fact that, now I forgot. I literally totally fucking forgot. Man, I forgot. Oh, I know what it was. Everyone's talking about all the pages that were turned in and all these pages. But again, I'm going to say what I said originally. It was never accepted by the courts. When you want something to be heard from the courts, okay? I'm going to get into that now, Fly. When you file a motion, and that motion is you're asking the courts for a court date in order to have a hearing. And you want to have that hearing because you want your case heard. So what happens is your lawyer, yourself, whoever, file a motion to the courts. The courts then accept it and say, okay, you have a hearing date for this to be heard on May 5th. So then on May 5th, it's already been filed and accepted by the courts. And on May 5th, you go there for your preliminary hearing or your main hearing, whatever the case is, usually preliminary hearing. And that's where you introduce yourself to the court and say, hi, I'm me. I'm fighting for X, Y, and Z. The other side says, I'm fighting for X, Y, and Z. The courts then go ahead and give you another court date to actually fight it in court. That's how the law works. What the RICO did, and again, I've said it from jump, what the RICO did, they bypassed ever actually getting a court date, and they just filed. And I believe, and again, this is just an opinion, they filed it as a scare tactic. Nick thought that he is just so smart, and Betty thought that they were just so smart that they were going to outsmart everyone that's, Granny and Barbecue Lady. And that Barbecue Lady and Granny were just going to sit back and be like, hey, oh my God, we're so scared. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to fight back. We're just so scared that we're not going to do anything. So because of that, and that's where I think Lesniak, I think he may have filed like the first one, but that was never meant to go in front of a judge. That was just meant to sit in a file, which makes it as meaningless as a, what is it called? I was going to say S&D, but C&D. Oh, I agree. They thought wrong. But that's all it was meant for. Otherwise, they would have filed a motion for it to get heard to the courts. So the fact that they never accepted anything, it was never filed. I mean, it was filed, but it was never meant for a judge to see. It was only meant to sit in a fucking file. So here comes Barbecue Lady and, Granny, because they live in Pennsylvania, which is why they were named on the lawsuit. And here they come, and they're going to we're not putting up with this. Someone came up with the anti-slap idea, brilliant idea. Again, more power to them. So then they filed the anti-slap law. Well, Granny's lawyer and Barbecue Lady's lawyer all had to sit back and say, okay, we're going after them, that they're not allowed to file a motion to get this heard in front of a judge. And that's what the anti-slap law was. The anti-slap is stopping that motion, that RICO, from ever getting in front of a judge. But then Nick and Betty, who are dumber than a box of fucking rocks, but they're both con artist and con man, con woman, con man, whatever. They then decide, oh, let's just keep adding to stuff. Let's just keep fucking putting stuff in this file. Why? Nobody even had a look at it. The lawyers didn't have to look at it. Nobody had to look at it because it was never accepted by the courts to begin with. Again, if you file a motion, like I'll use QB and Betty, all of the bullshit that Betty would throw to QB's attorney, even he didn't read all of it. And he should have, but he didn't. And he said he didn't. Betty called him out on it. All that kind of stuff, he would have to read. And the reason he would have to read it is because Betty originally was accepted by the courts. So anything that comes through, her lawyer would need to read, skim through, whatever, so he knows what he's fighting. That's not what happened in their case. What happened in their case is it was never a motion for a hearing. It was never a litigation to begin with. It was just a filing. It was a filing that purposely never had a motion to go in front of the judge. It never had an acceptance to go in front of the judge. Again, in order for a judge to read it, you need to have a motion. You need to have it accepted by the courts before a judge is even going to look at it. Now, is a judge going to look at it just based on the fact she might be bored and what the fuck, why are they putting an anti-SLAPP in? That anti-SLAPP was to stop a lawsuit, was stopping the ability for them to file a motion to get that accepted by the courts. I hope I explained that well enough. I think every time I explain it for the last couple of months, it's gotten easier, but I know it's a lot. But yeah, that's just how it works. And everybody's talking like, they were asking for this, they were asking for that, they're going to get this. No, the anti-SLAPP was nothing more than them stopping them able, if they were going to, I don't even think they ever were going to, but if they were going to file a motion to get it heard in front of a judge, the anti-SLAPP stopped them from that happening. It stopped it from that happening. That's it. In a way, it's that simple. And that's why when people talk about everybody and this RICO and the RICO and the RICO and they did this and they did that, it was never accepted by the judge in the first place. I think that's why they were able to do the anti-SLAPP. And I'm wondering, and again, I don't know for sure, but I'm wondering why QB's attorney didn't file an anti-SLAPP. And my only logical conclusion, and I could be way off on this, but my only logical conclusion is that Betty was originally accepted by the courts where they weren't. And I think, again, I'm just guessing here, I think that once it's accepted by the courts, then the anti-SLAPP no longer applies because it's already been accepted, so it's not going to be quote-unquote frivolous. I could be way off on that. I'm just using logical conclusion as to why QUEENBEE's attorney didn't file an anti-SLAPP against Betty once he saw how ridiculous it was. So, like I said, I haven't looked it up, but the only logical conclusion I have is that because Betty was accepted, so you can't do an anti-SLAPP once it's accepted. But again, I don't know if I'm right. But that's my educated guess. So, but yeah, so I hope I explained everything. I just wish more people would listen. I wish my audience was bigger because I'm right. At this part, I know I'm right about. And when I hear B. Tim and Granny and all these people just making up this bullshit and how stressful the RICO was, there was nothing stressful about it. It was never accepted by the courts. It was nothing more than a piece of paper you could have wiped your ass on. And if it wasn't for the anti-SLAPP, they would have never added anything on that lawsuit either. They would have never added additional information because it was not in the courts. I mean, technically it was filed, but there was no hearing. There was no motion. There was no nothing. It was nothing more than a scare tactic, plain and simple. and they didn't need attorneys. They didn't need to do anything with it. They just needed to fucking move on. I'll give you an example. I got a notification from copyright that I was being sued from so-and-so. The guy's an idiot, but we went back and forth. I got notification I was being sued. I said, bring it on. I said, don't worry, I'll never put your video back up. He never bothered me again. I never heard anything, never got papers, nothing. Because, okay, you called my bluff, you got me, let's move on. And that's all it was. And that's the same thing they could have done. I could have been freaking out, hiring an attorney. Oh my God, I need a fucking attorney. This guy's suing me. And I told you guys about it. This guy's suing me for copyright, blah, blah, blah. It was bullshit. It was a scare tactic. He was scaring me and he got me. Okay. And we moved on. And I never heard from him again. Video didn't go back up. And that was it. End of story. That's all this was. Same thing. All they had to do was fucking ignore it. They would have been fine. But nope. That's where the grift started, and the grift has never fucking ended. So, anyone have any questions? But the point of it is the same. The point is that RICO was worth toilet paper. It was worth nothing. Until you go in front of a judge, until you file a motion to have a hearing with the judge, and the judge then gives you a hearing date and accepts it, they know, hands down, that's when you need to get an attorney. That's when you need to fight. That's when you need to, oh my God, this is real now. That's when you need to worry about it. When it's just a filing sitting in a file, it doesn't mean anything. It absolutely. And the fact that they didn't, I've never heard of any lawyer filing something just for it to sit in a file. I've never in my life heard that, which is why I think Lesniak had nothing to do with it, and it was all Nick. Nick being on house arrest, sitting in his fucking house all day, having nothing to do. Oh, let me write a motion. Let me write a motion here. And Lesniak is going to get in a lot of fucking trouble. I think he's going to get hit the hardest. But that's another thing. People talk about Lesniak having to pay. Lesniak doesn't have to pay. He's not a plaintiff. He's a lawyer. He doesn't pay out anything. That's all his client. He could walk away from his client. But yeah, I do. I think that, I know the bogus shit that was filed after, that's all fucking Nick and Betty. That read the exact same way Betty's read to QUEENBEE. Which was also complete fucking nonsense. And QB's lawyer is the one that said, I didn't read all of it. Why would I read 700 pages? Like no lawyer does. They skim through it. And if they see something important, great. You want to save money with an attorney? The way to do it is you go through it, you star what you think is important, and that's what you give to your attorney. That's what I did. That saves a lot of money. Because remember, a lawyer don't know you. A lawyer doesn't know the plaintiff. Lawyer doesn't know any of the situation. So he's only going on what you're telling him. Well, you absolutely need money to back up lawsuits. Or you just need to have your subs convinced that, that you're so wonderful and they should give you all their money so you can fight this frivolous lawsuit. And again, I said last night, their lawyers are not watching YouTube. They're both full of shit. And neither one of them have a fucking clue what they're talking about. They're just grifting and lying. Well, barbecue's not grifting. But a judge would laugh her ass off. Would absolutely laugh her ass off. If barbecue lady goes in there saying how she was damaged. Really? All Betty would have to do, and I don't even know if Betty's smart enough, but all Betty would have to do, or Brittany, is show all the donations that she has made to QB, just another creator, and she'd be done. Whose countersuit has been approved? Whose countersuit? Granny or Queen Bee? Love and Life, Lana. You mean Granny's countersuit has been approved? And if that's who you're talking about, yeah, that makes sense because nothing's been proven yet. As of right now, the judge probably thinks that they have all these losses. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. They're going to prove that they didn't have losses. They had nothing but gains. They got nothing, no harm done. Quite the opposite, actually. And that's all the other side would have to prove. Same thing with Betty. Same thing with Queen Bee and Betty. Same scenario. Neither one can prove damages. Now, as far as lawyers' fees, them getting lawyers' fees back, it doesn't matter who pays for it. Judges don't care if you crowdfund it or not. That's not their issue. Yeah, Lana. That was a crazy case. Lana sounded so stupid. She really did. She was like stalking the girl and everything. And like she destroyed her career. Not Lana, the other one. She really hurt her. From my observation, lots of her subs are willing to testify for them. And as shown, they are completely overwhelmed by her facts. Yeah, but they also lie. They both lie. I'm telling you, it's going to blow up in their faces. Mark my words. Good Vibes, you didn't answer me. Whose countersuit has been approved? Because I don't think Granny can have a countersuit yet. So I don't think you're talking about her. But I don't know. Answer me, woman. Bogey, I agree with you too. I absolutely agree with that. Fight your own battles. All of them. All they had to do was shut the fuck up in the first place. It has to be proven. And not only does it have to be proven, the United States court system, money is a way to prove it. Like defamation. Doesn't matter if your mental state is fucked up, you have to have financial loss. And I also think that it's going to look bad on Granny's part, and this is just an observation, but it's going to look bad on Granny's part if she's constantly asking for money, because remember, the other side wasn't asking for money. This wasn't about money, quote unquote. And if Granny's always asking for money, that doesn't look good either to the courts. I agree. Frenchie, I agree with that too. French said money doesn't seem to be an issue because they're subscribers of the bank. 100%. That's why I said they're not stressed out. Most of the stress in a case comes from money. and having to come up with money. And where am I getting this money from? That's where it comes from. So the fact that they've been live every day, they have no issues. But a judge needs a tangible item to go on, and that's money. Unfortunately, welcome to our system. Oh yeah, QB, yes. Her counterclaim was accepted. And at that point, after the judge read Betty's bullshit, I would have accepted it too. Yeah, but they all do, Scarlett. I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. I can't say anything because if I was ever got screwed for a lawsuit, I'd be asking for money too. So I don't fault them for that. When I was gonna hire an attorney, I asked for help too. So I don't fault them for asking for money. But it comes to a point that I think they've gotten very greedy. And I think Granny doesn't want to lose that money train. So now she's just coming up with shit. That I think is wrong. And QB, I don't know why we haven't heard anything. I mean, are they even still in litigation? Well, I guess they are. But nothing's happening. But I think QB is going to drag this out as long as she possibly can. Why? Money train. Yeah, it's not that hard to show receipt. Yeah, how come none of them show receipts? Why? Because, whatchamacallit? Because QB doesn't show receipts, so why should they? Granny's live every morning. What are you talking about? And it wouldn't surprise me if they get Natasha Cooper on panel. Like, Granny's, she's playing a game she doesn't want to go to. Because if I was Betty, I would get Lycan. I would get Natasha Cooper. I would get Natasha Cooper's daughter. Like, I would fucking rail her if I was Brittany. Her kids and her reputation, that's a blatant lie. Nothing was... What reputation was destroyed? Think about it, Johnny. What reputation was destroyed? In order to say that your reputation was destroyed, you actually have to have proof of it, and there is no proof that her reputation was destroyed. Now, Betty can use that. Betty can say her reputation was destroyed. Brittany can probably say her reputation was destroyed. But Granny can't say her reputation was destroyed. Her kids have nothing to do with it. Them naming her in some bullshit piece of paper doesn't make your reputation destroyed. Yeah, QB against BHB. But that's what I'm saying. People that are telling Granny, I can see you, good vibes. I said QB against BHB. Yeah, Betty destroyed her own reputation. All right. I know I said it, good vibes. I said, oh, you're talking about QB against BHB. I think it's very unfair to followers. I do. I really, truly do. Like, again, the anti-slap, I agree with. I totally agree with the anti-slap. Now that it's done, you're going to go to court, they're going to award you legal fees, and move on. That's it. Keep your reputation, keep your sanity, keep your fucking morals, and then move on. But that's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is they are she's too hooked on the money. She's going to keep it going and she's going to lose. And then what? Then all of it was a complete waste. And then you're going to end up owing. Because Brittany can raise money. I mean, I'm sure Brittany could raise plenty of money to get a lawyer to fight this. Yeah, Good Vibes, I remember that. It was so stupid. Nick had asked her $500 to make it go away. I can't believe the verdict took this long. I mean, I would have been back with a verdict in like 10 minutes. Ah. Yeah, but remember, this is totally separate from the QB stuff. You know, Granny stuff. I'm showing Verdict Watch. Watch live, jury deliberating. I'm not showing an answer. I'm saying I can't believe it's taken this long. Oh, well, let me watch it here. Now I'm showing jurors still deliberating. I can't see how she couldn't be guilty. I mean, she's in jail for life anyway. That judge has patience. Mama, were you not listening to anything I just said? I just explained that entire thing. I'm not going to do it again. But I literally just explained that entire thing. Well, I think their case is probably over by now. Hasn't it been a year? Because most restraining orders are for like a year. It's been a year. Pretty Lies and Alibis lies. There's no verdict yet. Everything I'm looking at is Verdict Watch. Let's try Court TV. Yeah, no, I just put on Court TV and this is what you see. Nope, no verdict. Okay, so Mama, I'm going to explain this one last time. The judge did not need to read anything. A judge only needs to look at something in a hearing in a case that has been accepted by the courts. Nothing was ever accepted by the courts. The judge doesn't need to look at anything. I mean, I'm sure the judge did look at it just to see what they were filing the anti-slap on, because, I mean, that would make sense. But the RICO was never accepted by the courts. It was never an issue to begin with. Guys, this is Court TV Live. There's nothing. Oh, there's a verdict, but it's not being shown yet. Maybe that's what it is. He's not even live. Yeah, he's not even live. Yeah, verdict is in, but they haven't announced it yet. That's what I was saying. I mean, even if it came back not guilty, it doesn't even mean anything. You know what I'm saying? She's still in jail for life. That's what I'm saying. Like, at this point, I would have probably been my own attorney too. It gave her something to do. She didn't have anything to lose. So fuck it. You might as well be your own attorney and get out of court and, you know, make sure you have legal papers. You have nothing to lose. Fuck it. Why not? I would have. Yeah, she's not getting out. She's not nothing. Why didn't she get the death penalty? Does anyone know? Can you imagine if it was, though? That'd be funny as hell. I just don't even understand why it took this long. Like, it's so obvious she was guilty. Someone said the judge took the DP off the table during an error in discovery disclosure. That's true, too, Love and Life. Thought that with Casey Anthony. That's a good point. All right, someone says the plaintiff's complaint injunction doesn't have to be approved by the court once it's filed. The defendants have to answer in a certain amount of time or they risk default judgment. No. I don't think that's right. Because in order for it to be anything, you have to have it accepted by the courts. You have to file something and get a court date so the courts can hear the sides. You can't just file something and then that's it. You have to have a judge approve it and give you a court date. Just like them putting in all this evidence and stuff. There is no evidence. That would be done with the courts. Like you would bring all that stuff to the courts. You wouldn't just file a bunch of shit. That's not how it works. They went in front of the judge for the anti-slap. That's what they went in front of the judge for. Every court, two court dates they had were all about the anti-slap. I'll have to double check that, Swimming, because I think you're wrong. I've never heard of that before. The anti-slap was filed due, yes, of it being frivolous to stop it from going forward. Exactly. To stop it from being accepted. That's exactly what I said earlier. That's because I don't think that Lesniak had anything to do with it in the first place. I really, truly don't. And if he doesn't sue Nick, he's an idiot. That's exactly what I said earlier. And I didn't even know that for sure, but thank you. Thank you for confirming what I had said earlier. That they had a hearing on the anti-slap oral arguments. The judge ruled on them all, and she dismissed their original in the emergency they filed. That's basically what I said earlier. They were ordered to pay court costs, but the determination of that, they have another hearing for. I think it's like next week or something. But they were not awarded damages at that time. Like I said, the judge could change her mind, but. Yeah, but I heard he was clueless about the argument. I didn't watch any of it, but I heard he was clueless. I think Nick used his name without him knowing. I really do. Because no lawyer would be okay with the shit that was turned in. Yeah, they read them due to the anti-slap. They had to read it due to the anti-slap. They had to know what they were going up against. I agree with you. Paperwork was horrendous. I mean, the original one was okay, but them adding all this other bullshit, that was not a lawyer. No lawyer in their right mind would enter the shit they entered. I agree. He can get in trouble, and he should get in trouble. All that garbage that they turned in was like rhetoric. It was so stupid. There was no reason for them to turn in pages and pages and pages of nonsense. That's why I said that's Betty. Yeah, but remember, they filed the anti-slap. They couldn't have won by default judgment because it was never in front of the judge in the first place. Hang on. I'm going to check something. Aha! I'm right again. Here we go. In Pennsylvania, if something is filed with the court that isn't a motion and is not ordered by the court to be answered, you don't need to file an answer. Generally, only motions require a response unless specifically ordered by the judge. Aha, I told you. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. It says it right here. In Pennsylvania, that's exactly what I've been trying to tell people. They never needed to answer it. No judge ordered them to answer it, and it was never seen by a judge, and it wasn't a motion. They did not need to answer it, which is what I've been saying all along. Thank you, Google. You only have to answer it if it's a motion, or if a judge says you must answer it. The judge never saw the paper, so they didn't need to respond. It was not a motion. They did not file a motion. They filed a piece of paper. They filed a 10-page rhetoric bullshit. That was not a motion. A motion, I mean, that wasn't even fucking, what's the word? The way they did it wasn't even right. A motion is a 1-page that asks the court for a court date. That's all a motion is. Motions aren't long. Motions are literally 1 page. You don't include evidence with a motion. You just make like highlighted, like point A, B, and C. I know it wasn't a motion. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They filed this ridiculous millions of pages. That's not a motion. All a motion does is you're asking the court date. You're asking the courts for a date. That's it. That's a motion. And it has to be accepted by the courts for you to answer it. Just because you file something, it doesn't require an answer. They just filed something. A motion is 1 page where you're asking the courts for a hearing date so then you can talk about your injunction. Then you can go through the injunction and present all your facts. But an actual motion is a 1-page document, or, it could be 2 pages, where you're briefly asking the courts based on point A, B, C, and D. There's nothing else in it. Yes, that's what a motion is. I know what a motion is. Believe me, I've filed many of them. Motion is a very short fucking asking for the courts for a court date. So you can argue and show your evidence of what a motion, of what the evidence is. A motion doesn't have evidence. A motion is not 300 pages. A motion is on this day, May 2nd, 2024, we request that the courts, have a hearing for a motion, for an injunction based on point A, B, C, and D. And that's it. That's a civil motion. No, all motions are the same. No motion has evidence. All motions are the same. Yeah, motion for a hearing. You would need a hearing for it to go anywhere. You would need a hearing for the judge to hear any evidence. Everything that they wrote is for evidence. Those are for evidentiary hearings. They didn't get that far. They filed bullshit. They filed scare tactics. Barbecue Lady and the other one never needed to answer it until a judge signed off on it. Once a judge signed off on it, then they would need to answer it. Once a judge gave them a court date, then they would need to answer it. Until that happens, they don't need to answer it. They filed an emergency motion against the anti-SLAPP. That's different. That's why they filed the emergency motion. But that had nothing to do with the RICO. That was against the anti-SLAPP. That 7,000 pages bullshit, that was for the anti-SLAPP, not for their RICO. But your initial filing in any civil case has to be for a judge to accept it. That's step one. That all this other stuff that you guys are talking about is after the fact. That's after a judge accepts it. Your initial filing is short, sweet, and just highlights the reasons why you want to have a hearing, why you want to bring this to the courts. No, it wasn't a motion. They didn't have a motion. They had a bunch of fucking rhetoric bullshit. They had a motion, it would have gone to a judge, and a judge would have signed off and said, okay, come back, this date. That never happened. They never brought it to a judge. A motion goes to a judge. They never did it for a judge. They did it to stick in a fucking file. That's all they did it for. That's it. They never expected it to go to a judge. They never wanted it to go to a judge. They didn't have a lawsuit. This was never about a lawsuit or money. A complaint, yes. It was a complaint. It absolutely was a complaint. And thank you, because I couldn't think of the word I was looking for. Complaint is. It was a complaint. It was not a motion. And they weren't asking the courts for anything. Now, let me just look up something. In Pennsylvania, do the court, I'm sorry. Does a defendant need to answer a complaint that no judge signed off on? In Pennsylvania, defendant does not need to file a written answer with the court to a complaint that hasn't been signed by a judge to prevent a default judgment. The defendant can simply appear at the trial date, which they never had, and defend the case. A judge's signature on a complaint is generally not required for the complaint to be valid and for the defendant to be required to respond. All right, this just went back and forth. The defendant can simply appear on a trial date, but they never had a trial date. Hey, Gina. Zoot says, hi, Laura, I agree. The filing was rejected. It got considered a rejected. It wasn't tested, nor did anyone's credibility enter into the balance. It was rejected because it was not fit for testing. Ding, ding, ding. And they weren't, actually they were served process. Forgot about that. I don't know. The answer kind of goes back and forth. Because here it says that, no, they don't have to answer. But then here it says judge's signature on a complaint is generally not required for the complaint to be valid. So I don't know. Again, this goes back and forth. But I don't think they needed to answer it until, you know, until it was something. Motions Court, Crawford County. That's criminal. What does an initial civil motion in PA typically begins with a motion that clearly states relief sought for the reasons for it. It should include information about whether the motion has been discussed with all parties and their positions. Clear and concise statement, factual and legal grounds, discussion with other parties, joint consent or uncontested. No briefs required for certain motions. Generally, briefs are not required for discovery motions, motions for extension of time, or motions for continuance. That's where they went wrong. Motion for summary judgment. No, that wouldn't be them. They weren't any of these. Yeah, it was attempting to be a motion. It was deemed motionless. Exactly. Because it's not a motion. That's why I keep saying. It was never a motion. A complaint, yes. A complaint that was as worthless as fucking toilet paper. I agree with that too, Good Vibes. Why is this the verdict in? Why is this taking forever? I don't understand why it's taking forever. They out to lunch? No, it's 5:30. Civil action motion packet. Here you go. This is what a motion looks like in Pennsylvania. This is what I'm trying to say. And then the judge signs the order, and that's it. Done. Then you get a court date. Then you got to answer it. Then you have 30 days to answer. But this is what it looks like in Pennsylvania. They filed nothing that looks like this at all. But this is an initial civil action law. That's what a motion looks like. Then you have the paperwork. Certificate of compliance. And that's it. That's a motion. They filed nothing of the sort. But I bet the anti-SLAPP law was filed in this format. I probably put money down that it was filed in this format. Then a judge looks at it, signs it by the order of the court, gives you a court date, and you move on. Then they, do this, second page. None of this was filed by the green team. None of it. None of these paperwork are in there. Which means that it was never anything but a complaint sitting in a file. That's it. And that's why I wonder, Good Vibes, if they're going to do anything with, case law with it. I do wonder that. Because, I mean, it's frivolous, yeah, but it was so over the top. I don't know. I can't see him doing anything with it. I'm going for these long ass fucking lives. But I am going to get off because we're on like almost 3 hours already. So I hope I educated everyone. And now people can stop running with lies and bullshit. Because it's pretty simple. Yeah, I don't know why it's... I mean, I was hoping to wait out until the verdict, but I mean, this could be another fucking hour. Who knows? I really don't know why it's taken so long. Unless she's not guilty. And the judge is freaking out. Maybe she killed someone. Maybe she shot the judge. So, I hope I got my point across. QB, you're a liar. Don't fuck with someone's business like you did. Don't lie about my business like you did. Because my business is a hell of a lot more important than a fucking cookbook. And I have put blood, sweat, and motherfucking tears in my business. So I'd appreciate it if you apologize and stop lying. And with that said, I will see you beautiful people tomorrow. I got candles to make tonight. Don't forget, order your candles, energycandles.com, ENERGIE. And for those of you that weren't here earlier, you can see the beautiful studio that I make candles in. So when you guys are wondering where I'm making candles, that's where I make candles. Who showed receipts? Receipts of what? QB didn't show receipts that I fucking doxed anybody. Or that I used my business to give out addresses. No, sorry. She never showed receipts because that never happened. Try again. I mean, you could have been talking about something else, but if you're talking about that, no. That's only half. It goes all the way down. I took over my entire fucking dining room and living room. And this doesn't even include all the boxes and stuff in the other shelf in the front. That's in the front of my house. I don't know why I didn't add that in this video. That's a blood, sweat, and fucking tears. But yeah, in the front of my house, I have the same kind of black cubby hole. Same kind of black cubby. Except it's all boxes. All boxes, tape, anything, you know, packaging. All that's in another huge 5-tier thing. My whole house taken over by candles. And then in Sage's room, Sage's old room, I have my heat press. I have all my stuff for shows. It's crazy. Crazy. So, all right. But I'm out. I will see you beautiful people later. And have a wonderful night. Peace. And thank you guys for the memberships, PayPals, Cash Apps. And welcome new members.